Hey, it's Patrick here. Today, I want to talk to you about the donkey rig, or sometimes called the tandem fluke. Those are terms that come to us from the conventional bass fishing world, and it's one that we can also use in fly fishing. A way of fishing two streamers at one time. We have one tied straight on through through a swivel, and another one that's on a sliding swivel. So you end up with two flies that are 4 to 6 inches away from each other. And this is great when fish are chasing schooling bait. I prefer a shorter rod. This happens to be the Redington Big Game. It comes in an 8 foot 3 inch in a 6, 7, or 8 weight. I like heavier for what I do with bass, especially. So 7s and 8s are my preference. Why I like the shorter rod is because when I'm casting and looking for real accuracy, getting these flies into tight spots, this shorter rod allows for that. When I'm stripping flies and my rod tip is down low and I'm pulling the line in, the rod tip wants to hit the water less than that 9-inch version does, or sorry, 9 foot. There's 9 inches difference between the two. That's why I like these shorter rods. Off of that, I've got a Rio Elite Predator line in a matching. So if it's a 7, I have a 7, etc. It's got a nice, short, powerful head. It turns over these flies way easier than other lines that I'm using. If I'm going to go with some heavier flies, I like the Big Nasty Leader. It's a 6-footer, so it's got a little more action to turn over those flies. And if I need to be stealthier, if I need to go a little bit lighter on the flies, then I go out to a 9-foot long bass leader. We're going to have a couple of swivels come into play. So we've got the Rio Micro Swivel in the large size. And so first you have one that goes on that slides on your main line, a clinch knot off of that to a loop knot with a Rio fly clip. Up here, you have another swivel tied in your main line, a couple of clinch knots down to a loop knot with another Rio fly clip. Those are the size 3. Those are the larger ones that we sell. And these leaders are, as I've got here, 12 and 8. You could go 15 and 12 or something like that. As long you want them about 3 to 6 inches apart. That gives enough proximity and separation at the same time. Fly clips for this setup is because once I have these set up the way I want with the lengths that I like, etc., I don't want to have to keep nipping away at this each time I change my flies. And these fly clips allow me to quickly take one off, put on a different one, and keep moving without having to change my entire setup. Why we would do this? We would do this because many of the fish we like to pursue with a fly rod chase schooling bait fish, whether that's warm water scenarios where you have largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, etc. They're chasing a lot of shiners and shad. We have creek chubs and fatheads and blunt nose minnows. We have in the salt herring, smelt, and anchovies that our coho and sea run cutthroat are going to chase. One of the things all these bait tend to have more or less in common is they're about 2 to 4 inches long. They have slim translucent bodies, and they're rather silvery in most cases. So if you have those elements into your fly, you're probably in a very good spot to start this. I don't like them to be real heavy. I like them to have a lighter action to it. So the fly that was in my previous video showing this in the tank swimming is a great one for this. In fact, when Richard McGill submitted this fly to us, he described this exact scenario and why he likes fishing that fly on that scenario. So hopefully we can get him to do a video on this as well and talk about the effectiveness that he's had fishing these flies with that method. This is called Rio's Disco Dust, and it's about 2.5 inches. It's thin and translucent, and it is rather silvery. It fits the bill. Richard also has a couple of little perch that he fishes on the Missouri River. They spill over the dam, and large trout like to eat these things. But I guarantee you throw this around largemouth post-spawn, these are getting crushed. A couple colors of it that are available. Rio has a fly called Turn Up the Bass that looks a lot like the fluke on that keeled bass hook already. It's a little bit more weedless than some of these other flies, if that makes a difference to you. But lastly, you kind of got to decide the depth you're going to fish these at. I'm looking forward to fishing them rather shallow in most cases, especially like the post-spawn bass, like I talked about. They're going to be up in the shallows, ambushing the bluegill that come in to spawn after them. And but in the sea run cutthroat scenario, coho scenario, I'm probably going to my intermediate lines or intermediate tips at least to get my flies down a little bit. So I'm super excited about it. I'm glad Richard talked about this method with me to explain some of the benefits of it. There's lots of information on the rigging in the conventional world. I'm helping to highlight it in the fly fishing world. So I hope you enjoy it. Hope you go rope some fish on it, and I do too. Thanks.